Hello and welcome to Quick Looks with the Casual Hour. My name is Bobby. Joining me for this very special Quick Look, Chase Kinnicky, the gamer on the go. I'm going to get right to it. This is fucking Citizen Sleeper, and I'm so excited to show this game to you today.
You either get busy sleeping or you get busy dying. That's what I always say.
That's how I live my life. One sleepy citizen at a time. Chase, what can you tell me about Citizen Sleeper?
I can tell you this game's fucking rad. That's what I can tell you. It's it's developed by a developer named Jump Over the Age. Let me look at Steam, see if they've put anything else out. Oh, well, I know we've talked about In Other Waters before. And you've played some of that game. I have downloaded it now, but you had nothing but good things to say about that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And that seems to be all that I can find on Steam from them. This game came out early May of 2022. It's $20. It's also on Switch. Is it also on other consoles as well?
I think it's just on Xbox, Switch, and PC.
Yes.
And Mac. It's on Mac
and
OS.
Mac. Yeah. Yeah. So no PlayStation, but other than that, it's on pretty much everything. And God damn it, Bobby, this game is so fucking good.
It's very good. So let me first of all welcome you all to like and subscribe our channel. We play games like Citizen Sleeper Mondays and Fridays over on Twitch. We also do Quick Looks Tuesdays and Thursdays on YouTube. Make yourself at home. We'd love to have you around. Thanks for tuning in today. Let's just kind of go over something at the beginning of this. This is a game that I think is incredibly impactful in its storytelling and something that I think that you should experience a lot of this on your own. Having said that,
and it's also extremely narrative based, so you are probably gonna see some spoiler here, even if that's not our intention, because that's just how this game works. Also, being a very narrative and text heavy game, we're probably gonna skip some of that text and not just read a bunch of stuff. But know that the writing in this game, incredible.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try. This is hard for me because I don't want to lose too much of what I'm really getting from the game. But we wanted to show it off to you. And I didn't want to do a new save because I wanted to have something that was kind of upright to show you what was going on.
Yeah.
So I'm playing as an operator. I'm on my 44th cycle into the game. I don't know, that could be a very long time for somebody. That could be very quick depending on how you play the game. I've got quite a bit of stuff I'm working through right now as far as our missions go. They're called drives, and they're going to live over here. You can collapse that menu down. Over here on the right is my character. You can see how I've been building out my character, and I've had some nice upgrades that I think, and a lot of it is going to be when you start the game, you might be in a negative deficit. You can work your way back into a positive, as I've done here. There are some passive things that will stick with your character, but
yeah, there are three different classes. You're the operator here, which means I believe you got a jump start in interface, right? You got a +1 to your interface, but I think you have a -1 to your endure. Which I did as well, because I also picked operator. There are two other classes. They come with different bonuses and drawbacks, but like Bobby has shown here, you can even out those drawbacks as you get more upgrade points, and you have completely eliminated your -1 to endure, and in fact, it seems like you've purchased a +1, so you can do some really good stuff now.
Yeah, some things that really make the game a lot more smooth and not user friendly, but it just makes life easier. Some quality of life stuff.
Now, Bobby, sure. what are these -1s and +1s actually affect? What are you minusing or plussing?
So as we interface with the game, you're going to see a lot of these icons, and if I click on one of them, you're going to notice that there's options. Now, above here, this predictive reasoning, that's a perk that I've unlocked. So it lets me know what my outcomes are. And as you have dice up here, you can drag these in and place them on, and that is going to give you an opportunity. So I could put a dice down, that's a 1. If I drop it, it goes up to a 2 because I have this +1 ability on that.
Because
I'm gonna back out of it and not do that.
Right, because that job was an endure job. It's got that pink endure copy on there, so you can see that when you place something in there, it's going to go up 1. So you could put that 5 in there, and it automatically will become a 6 when you roll it. Now, what's the difference between having a 1 that goes up to a 2 or a 5 that goes up to a 6?
Yeah, so if I drop this down, for example, you're going to see that a 1 now becoming a 2 has a 50% chance to be neutral or a 50% chance to be negative. And the negative would be outlining what that is here. So it looks like it's just increasing Ethan's debt either way. Mm-hmm. But if I removed that one and I brought this down, which is a 6, the highest you can get, it's 100% positive. So this is going to be like the crown jewel, right? You don't want to. I always save those. Like, I think that's not unique to me, but like I use those for like things that are very critical that I'd want to have a chance on. One of the other things to call out, this says repeatable action. There's going to be some of these interfaces that are, I believe they're called critical actions, which is a one-time only. And so you really want to be smart about the dice that you would use into it. 1 to 6, and you can see that there's varying degrees. So like this 3 will become a 4. 25% positive, 50% neutral, 25% negative. And a lot of what you're interacting with will have that drag and drop. So this is a piece of scrap component, which I don't have any right now. I've got a ship mine fragment. This is cryo. That's your currency in the game. And then there's data pieces that you can get that will live in this. And there's a whole other subset that you can go into within the is it the ring? Is that what it's called? The eye. And the eye. Mm-hmm. And you can grab certain things from that would hang out here in your data. The eye has a very spanning piece to it. You can go up as you play through the game, and certain things of this will be accessible up here at the top. I've also gotten to the point now where I can cross over and go to the Greenway. And as you do so, there'll be new experiences to check out over here as well.
Nice. I haven't gotten to the Greenway yet.
I've not spent a lot of time over here yet, and I don't think I will in this quick look, just for the sake of the story. But this area over here is where you will be coming back to your house, which my house is either here in this empty container, or I've got a new house, which I've repaired.
Oh,
and
nice.
I've got a spot up here. So when you're back at your house, you can end the cycle. There's a few things to note that when you're playing the game that are impacted by it. You have your condition, which are these orange pips at the top, and you have your energy, which is beneath your dice. Your energy is like you get that through food and sustenance, and sometimes things in the world, a negative consequence will be removing your energy or giving you energy. If your energy is depleted, it has a bigger effect when you are starving on your condition. As you can see, I only have 4 die available to me, or 4 dice available to me. This one over here, this die that's missing, is because our condition has fallen past that. So if your condition's all the way up, and that's part of you being a sleeper, there's planned obsolescence, and so you're just doing your best to keep that obsolescence from happening.
Yeah, you're kind of like an android that's slowly degrading, and you need to afford the thing that can get you back into good condition every, not month exactly, but you'll eventually get to a point where you're just like, okay, I need to purchase the stuff to get that condition up, because like you said, that gets you the dice, and the dice are the actions that you're able to perform each cycle.
And you'll notice, like as you mouse over things, like this is going to be a place that you can go and get energy. So if I came here, I could drop a dice, and that's going to give me a pretty high level of energy. This is safe. I have a spot back at home where I can do this as well, but I'm just going to drop it here to show off. Like my ones, I don't know about you, Chase, but there's other things I can use them for, but a lot of times I'm just now using my lower die for things like energy. And
yeah, so I tend to use the lower dice to in the hacking stuff, that alternate version, because a lot of those nodes in that version specifically. Can you go back to that one real quick?
The food.
No. I mean the hacker version of the eye. So when you get to these nodes, they look for specific dice. So as you can see on that screen, this needs a 1, which Bobby just used. He could have used it here, but because of the thing that Bobby has as an operator, and I do too, because that's how I'm playing it as well, you see that outline of the 3 there as well. where you can use a 1 or a 3 to satisfy the condition that they're asking for to access those protocols and to get whatever that data is. So this like side game almost is you need very specific things, whereas in the more general one that you're in, you can put any die that you have into any of those slots, but that's where the good that's where the positive, neutral, negative outcome stuff works.
And
it's a really interesting system.
Absolutely. And like each one of these that we're looking at right now, like you can see here that this is is that Havenage? Is that how that is? Havenage? I think?
Yeah, Havenage. Yeah,
Havenage,
whatever.
Havenage.
Yeah.
That's one type of data that you can get from this hacker portal, and then this over here is the Yadigan. I think that's how you'd say that.
Sure.
Yadigan. And that would be another version of that as well. So down here I have a Greenway cipher. There's all kinds of keys and crypts and shit like that you can get that will be used in other areas. You're probably noticing this here. That doesn't look great because it's red. There are negative things. So a lot of this game is on a clock system. And this Maywick one is a spoiler part for sure, but there's somebody coming because you are rogue. Like you are this android a sleeper that should not be here. You're on the men, or not on the men, on the lam. And you're trying your best to, well, you're kind of on the men too, if you think about it. But you're running away from shit. There's certain things that are cycles, like this here is a merchant freighter, traveling merchant. This one here is going to be a dock when they hit a certain cycle. So each day that you go through, like once I've used up my dice, I'll go back home and I'll end the cycle and start that over again. And that's the loop. And you're doing your best to figure out what's the best use of my time today. What things do I need to keep an eye on? Like my condition's in a good spot. I can buy a device that will let me get my condition back to 100. Your energy needs to be there, and you just need to be balancing. Am I making money? Am I getting sustenance? Is my condition good? Am I helping these folks around me? And there's a lot of good stuff that goes into that for sure.
Yeah,
so
it's just a game of really interesting choices and forcing you to make decisions as a player that have narrative implications, but also can have gameplay mechanical implications as well. I do really like the UI stuff of, hey, here, like the red progress bar you have on your home, and there are other red progress bars that show up as well that go, okay, you need to, like, this is something you need to worry about. You need to make sure that you're good, that you can pay, or that you can handle whatever's going to come when that red progress bar fills up. But then you have some of those yellow progress bars you see on this one. That is, you're gaining progress by doing those actions. And once you finish the progress of that, probably something good will happen, or something will move forward in the story. And then there are the ones that are also yellow, but you showed those off earlier, the docks or the merchant ships, where those will progress automatically because of time, because of the amount of cycles that go through. So it's really interesting to go, okay, this ship's only going to be here a couple more days. I need to buy all the stuff that's on that ship because I need to use it for this other stuff. And then, I've got a 6 here on the dice that I have for this cycle. I need to use that 6 for something really critical, if possible. But do I want to weigh that versus what I could get with that 6? Even though it's maybe not the most efficient thing for what a 6 could do, maybe it's the most efficient thing for what my progress bars need at this very moment. And I think that stuff is just incredibly cool, the way all this stuff comes together and plays with each other.
The other nice thing that I've unlocked, so there's 2 things here that I'll say you could work towards, that if you're watching this at this point, you don't care about spoilers, like, here's what I'd recommend. This Sunbathe perk, incredibly useful to get your energy back up if you don't want to be burning your money up or having the impact of that. Like, the other thing, I just unlocked this, which is once a day I can re-roll all my dice, and that's awesome. So because this is all random, but this is looking really good actually, because these are going to become 6s in most of my interfaces, and I've got a 6 here. So this is a very good hand of dice that I can use to get my day going.
Yeah. So here's an issue I've actually run into when I've been playing. I've been too lucky. I've been getting too many good rolls, which means I can't go into the hacking side game and do many of the hacking things because those need 1s or 2s or maybe even 3s, and I just can't really access those because all my dice are too good, which is great in this side of the game, but it means I'm not progressing certain parts that I feel like I need to be progressing to further the story or further what my actual mission is, and and so there is this tension of, oh fuck, my dice are too good. that sucks, but also like, damn, I got really good dice. I can do a lot of really great things on the surface of the eye rather than the hacking stuff. But that reroll, I need to unlock that because that sounds really helpful to alleviate that problem.
Once I get through this so we just opened up a distillery, which I kind of hope will be another source of income for me. I'm trying to get more passive income going in the game.
Hey, aren't we all looking for passive income?
No kidding.
Yeah. There's a great TikTok video I'll show you about how to get passive income.
Oh, really?
They also have a bridge to sell you.
Okay.
Yeah. Plenty of Florida swampland that's available for
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Here's the other thing I love about this game. Look at these talking heads. Look at Tala here. This is great fucking art. Oh, it's so good.
It's really good art. One thing to call out too, I don't know if they have this on the Switch version, which is where you're playing. I'm playing this via Game Pass, by the way. So I did not purchase this on Steam, but I did play In Other Waters, and they had something similar where you could get a companion book of like all the art. There's DLC for this game on Steam that I might just buy standalone, which is the art of Citizen Sleeper, which I think is a really cool thing to be able to download and have that. It's $10, and you can get that on there right now.
Nice.
They have like I think it's like $35 right now on sale, but you can get the soundtrack, which is phenomenal, the artwork, and the game for a very great package there.
Yeah, we haven't heard too much of the music here. It's been pretty ambient, but the music that is here, I have really, really enjoyed.
All right, mushrooms. So now I got to get that for our deal here. I do have one more area that I can dump into.
Okay, can you freeze on just freeze right here. So
yeah.
I'm, like you said, I'm playing this on the Switch, and I do want to mention, just as a word of caution for people who are playing on the Switch, just so you know what you're getting into, I have one issue with this game, and it appears to only be on the Switch. It seems like on the PC version, there's no problems at all. But when you navigate the eye like this, can you just like move up and down the eye a little bit so you can like so you see Bobby's revealing new nodes as he goes around the eye. And you do the same thing on Switch with the left thumbstick. But then when you're on here, like Bobby can just like use his mouse cursor and hover over these things and pick any of these places, the stalls or the shops or whatever. On the Switch, you actually have to use the D-pad to navigate the different nodes. But it's a little unintuitive to have to move the eye with a thumbstick and then move the I mean, there's not really a cursor on the Switch, but move to what's being selected with the D-pad. But the D-pad won't automatically... It won't just cycle through all the nodes you can. It just cycles through the nodes that are currently on the screen. And it's a small little issue that is just... It's not a big deal. It's just a little frustration, but the problem is you are moving around the eye and selecting nodes all the goddamn time. That is what this game is. It is jumping in and out of nodes, and it's moving around the eye to select those different nodes. And that part does not feel good on Switch. It seems like something that you could fix with a patch of just letting me cycle through all the nodes without having to move the camera. But it is a small frustration that just builds over time as you play this on Switch, and I would say I wouldn't discourage you from playing it on Switch because it's still an excellent game. But if you have the option, if you like playing games on PC, I would say this game is probably a little bit better to play on PC. But either way, you should play this game because it's just so good.
It's very, very good. I mean, it's easily one of my favorite things that I've played this year, without a doubt. Like, really appreciate a lot of what it's doing here. So I think, as we're talking about interfacing, I really wish that this was on a tablet. I would love to play this on my iPad, use 2 fingers to pan across everything, and then tap to go in, slide to drag dice. I would love to be able to have that. I don't know if I want to play on a phone. Like FTL, for example, is only on an iPad. Probably not the best place to play that game. It's very serviceable. I don't mind it there at all. But I think a game like this, there's hardly any action besides you just moving things around and tapping. It just feels like it would be perfect on a tablet.
Yeah, it like you said, it's all turn-based. There's no twitch reaction stuff that you have to worry about. I think you're right. I think this would play great on a tablet. I'd be shocked if this doesn't come to iOS at some point. But even for now, being on PC, Switch, and Xbox, it's a hell of a thing.
Well, even with I know that like this is on Game Pass, right? I mentioned that's where I'm playing it. I know that there's certain things where they've added in touch controls to games via Game Pass cloud streaming, and I just wonder if they would even do something like that for this, where that would take care of that problem automatically without a port, for me at least. But that's just one option to look at.
Yeah,
Chase,
and this doesn't have touch controls on Switch. Just so you know, even if you're playing this in handheld mode, you're not going to be able to swipe around and touch things, unfortunately.
I'm like super hesitant to show off more. I will if you want to.
No. I think you're perfectly fine. Just the last thing here, you're out of dice. There's a couple things you could probably still do because you got some money. You've got some items there in the bottom of your screen that you could use. You don't have to use them. Those are just things that you got. But when you're done with your actions, when you're done with your dice, the way to get more dice is by going to sleep and going to the next cycle, which will then move all those progress bars up. So that is really pushing you to use those dice efficiently and effectively to be able to be ready before those progress bars come calling, and you need to pay up or you need to fight something that might take away your condition. It's just a really simple concept that they have built on so well here. I'm having a fantastic time with this game.
I think some of my closing thoughts on it, as we're like, looking around here, just putzing around with this. But I would say it's really easy, I think, to fall into some tropes with science fiction. And even though they're not like the concept of a human conscious in a android body isn't anything new, I think that this game does a really great job of not leaning too heavily into like known quantities there. And the way that they approach it, like I will say also that I have not found the overall nature of this game to be very joyous. It is a pretty bleak game. I mean, it's not The Last of Us dark, but there's some darkness to it. And I think that like the story and the writing also goes through these pits, and then there's these moments of humanity and softness that like are just really well written, and the tenderness that comes through on it. Like it's just an incredibly thoughtful game on how it approaches it. And playing In Other Waters, I think, did a lot of setting me up for understanding how Jump Over the Age was going to be writing and doing some things here. And there's a care that goes into interacting with people who are going through hardships that I think is very relatable and important right now. I think it's important for people to be understanding like a perspective of what people are going through. And this game does a really, really great job of handling that.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's not a revolution of science fiction, right? It's you're not going to see much new here from science fiction, but I think the execution is just so well done. From both a mechanical aspect and a narrative aspect, they're really firing on all cylinders here. This is one of the best games I've played this year, and I expect it to keep a spot up in my tops once we get to Game of the Year time.
Absolutely. Chase, this is Citizen Sleeper. We talked a lot about where it's at. Xbox Game Pass, PC, Nintendo Switch. $20. You can get a big bundle on Steam right now that has some really great additional content if you're into that sort of thing. We stream games Mondays and Fridays over on twitch.tv/casualhour, 10:30 p.m. Central. We post quick looks like the one you've watched Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we post our podcast that we record live every Wednesday night, every Friday morning, wherever you listen to podcasts. This has been a ton of fun to look at and just really praise an accomplishment in gaming here, which we've all been pretty taken by. So thank you for hanging out with me today, Chase, and thank you for playing Citizen Sleeper. It's a fun game.